Alright, so this is Tiblio, and it's an amazing online service that helps you find the best trading opportunities. They have multiple different screeners for credit spreads, bull and bear squeezes with a lot of trading activity, option sweeps to follow large trades and big money moves, and a lot more for your different trading strategies. There's a trading board so you can log all your trades as soon as you enter. You're gonna get real-time alerts sent straight to your phone and get a good idea of your percentage of wins and losses. You're gonna get access to fast market news on any stock, and that's valuable in itself. But the best feature is the community Discord group, where you can exchange trading ideas and get guidance from the Tiblio team. So you can sign up for $34.95 a month. That's less than a tank of gas, but make sure that you sign up with my link and get your first month for 20% off. All right, so make sure you check out Tiblio. If you haven't already tried out Webull, they're giving away more free stocks when you sign up and fund your account with any amount or transfer over. And you'll get $5 worth of any of these coins when you make your first crypto trade worth at least $1. So sign up with my link in the description below. Yep. Black Girl Stocks official merch is now live, so you can either scroll down and click underneath this video, or you can go over to teesprings.com. We have t-shirts, different colors, different sizes, crew necks, sweatshirts, get rich, stay rich, everything positive. You already know how we do. So go ahead, check out Black Girl Stocks official merch. Join the Black Girl Stocks Options Trading Discord group for my weekly watch list, trading strategies with entry and exit points for your trades, day trading and swing trading ideas posted throughout the day with AI technology, tips, and a community of over 300 options traders. So click the link in the description below to join today. Okay, I think we're live. Okay. Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Foxtel Digital coming to you again with Black Girl Stocks, and this is our Wednesday midweek recap. Okay, where we're just gonna come and talk about a few different stocks that we were looking into for this week. It has been a week. Okay. All right, so we've had a lot of earnings reports this week, a lot of earning wins, and a lot of earnings beats, okay? So it's been very exciting. So thank you guys for coming and joining the live. First of all, while we're here, make sure that you guys click that thumbs up button for me. It really helps the channel. Also, subscribe and click that notification bell so that you get notified anytime I upload a new video for you guys. What's going on, Tanya? What's going on, Chase? Be blessed. What's going on? I'm doing okay today. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into just a few things before we jump into the market. You know, usually we're gonna go ahead and start with SPY. And we still have these fib lines that we've been looking at for probably since, what, last week? So I'm gonna give it just a little bit for you. Wait for you guys to get in. What's going on, Miss Mag? Okay, so the main. Oops, hold on. I kind of wanted to get into a couple of things. So yeah, to start the week off, we've had some huge earning reports. We've had earnings from Johnson & Johnson. United Airlines, Delta. They had a pretty good earnings last week. Now the two biggest earnings that we had this week were Netflix and Tesla. Okay, and let me put this over here. Hold on. Let me do this really quickly. Hold on, you guys. So I had a poll that I put on YouTube yesterday. Okay, and so I asked you guys, what did you think Netflix was going to do for their earnings? Did you think it was going to be an earnings win, a beat, or did you think it was going to be a loss? You know, so they had some pretty good news. Before their earnings, they said that they actually had 1 million subscribers that were new for the Q3 quarter, but they actually had over 2 million, so it's closer to 3. Okay, and then you already know they're going to have their new ad tier, and they're also going to be charging for password sharing too. So those of you who have 5 different people on your Netflix account, that will be no more. So Netflix, they said they're not playing with y'all. They're trying to get their coins up. They're paying all this money for these higher premium productions. Okay, Stranger Things season 4, the Jeffrey Dahmer, you know, that little series that they have. So they're not playing anymore. Okay, so yeah, 45% of you were correct on that. Okay, half of y'all were. And then also I saw this from K Love. What's going on, K? Kay says, personally, I still need to learn how to trade around earnings and how to understand / read the news, most importantly, the right news. So for me, the main things that I like to look for are kind of, you know, rumors, different things like positive outlook for the business, of course, stronger sales. And those are some of the things, but honestly, it's really a hit or a miss with earnings. So the best thing that you can do is get an idea of the market maker move, and that's just a plus or minus guesstimation of where the stock could potentially move with the volatility during those earnings. So I don't know if you guys remember on last week, the market maker move for Netflix was around $30. So last night, let's go to Netflix really quickly. Hold on. Oof, Lord have mercy. What is this? 240. Dang, that market. So the market maker move for Netflix, and I got this information from Tiblio, but there are other sources that offer that, but it was projected to move $31 during their earnings. And how much do you see that it moved right after earnings? We closed on Tuesday around 241. Today we almost reached 280. So the most that you can do is get an idea of that information and have your limit set around there if you're going to do a credit receiving position, or I mean, I don't want to say gamble with it, but it is what it is. So that's that for Netflix. Hold on, let me see. Hold on. Now, another thing, this is going to be from Seeking Alpha. I've been talking about Seeking Alpha a lot. Seeking Alpha, they're definitely my go-to just for kind of looking at earnings reports, upcoming news, you know, the best news about stocks. So this is just from the top of the week, but we were pretty bullish in the beginning of the week. NASDAQ was up 3%, S&P 500 and Dow, they were all up, and a lot of that was from anticipation of these earnings reports that we had this week. Pretty much all of the earnings were wins. They all have been wins. The only one that has been tripping after their earnings is Tesla, which is currently down. Hold on, let me go back to this. Tesla is down during after hours, even after an earnings win, but we'll talk about the God dog. So Tesla's down to about 5% after their earnings report, even with the earnings win. So like I said, you know, you really never know with earnings. But a lot of bank stocks, they still have earnings coming up this week. So we had Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, and Bank of America. They had earnings that were all good. So overall, the bank's revenue held up given the heightened volatility, and net interest income also improved, you know, the bank's overall wellness. So all of these interest rate increases, of course, they're going to be doing better with that. Okay. So that is that on that. What's going on, T? What's going on, Sirius Bach? Pedro said selling calls on Alibaba or buying puts. I mean, it depends on what you prefer to do. It's essentially the same general outlook on the stock, so it just depends on your risk level. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get into some things. Hold on, there was something else I wanted to talk about. Yeah, I mean, this was just a little bit more information on Tesla. We can look at Tesla if you guys want to. They have a lot of stuff going on. So let's just look at SPY and get a general idea of the market before we get any deeper. Oops. Okay. So, I mean, just still using these same fib levels. What we were looking at on Sunday going into the week was this important key level that SPY was moving up towards, that 371. And looking at it, it looks like we had a rejection of that level. Okay, so the next thing that I would want to see is, okay, going into the rest of the week, if I'm going to be bearish, I would like to see a candle close below my EMA lines right here. So this is my 5 and 10 EMA. And so that price is going to be around 365. And this is just on the daily chart. But just after seeing that rejection, that's the next best thing. So we could be on our way back down to this 355 support level. We've hit it a couple of times. No, we've hit it a couple of times. I can't see because this thing down here. Okay. On September 30th, so we hit it then. And then on the 13th. So it looks like just going into the week, if we have strong volume, you know, for bearish movement, then that's something that I would look for, just continuing in that bearish trend. So tell me what you guys think going into the rest of the week. Yeah, it definitely rejected that. That was a full rejection, and it was kind of side trading on the 18th or yesterday. So, you know, we can kind of see that rejection, and we had a lot of bearish movement today. So anybody that had puts, going over SPY now. What's going on, Miss K Art? What's up? So yeah, like I said, and just going to the 4-hour chart, if I was going to be bearish going into the rest of the week, I would really love to see SPY cross below my 50-period moving averages on the 4-hour chart. And that's going to probably be around this 365, like I said. So we closed at 368. After hours, we dropped another $1. So we're around 367 right now. So let's just kind of wait and see what happens going into tomorrow. Even just looking at this MACD, it looks like we had a bearish crossover. So the orange line is the MACD, or the MACD line, and the blue is the signal. So bearish crossover there, and it looks like our histogram is just getting started with bearish movement. RSI is about 50, and you already know we always say in a downtrend 50 for an RSI is pretty, you know, it's pretty overbought to me. So golly, and I was just getting, I mean, it is what it is. I feel like a lot of the market, you know, that's all you see is, have we reached the bottom yet? Have we reached the bottom? Why are y'all worried about reaching the bottom? Just go with where it goes. But I feel like a lot of people aren't really into, you know, trading options yet. So if you're just buying shares, of course you want the stock to go up because that's where you gain value, unless you're short selling. But we're still doing great with puts. I have an SPY put open right now. Hold on. I don't. I wish there was a way I can just plug my phone in and just share the screen, but I'm going to tell you, now it was down a little bit at market close, but I have a SPY 365 October 21st put. So let's look at that. There's a couple of days till expiration. So a lot of you guys asked that. Even if I'm doing a day trade, I really try and stay away from the zero DTE. 0 days till expiration. I like at least a couple of days for me. So this is the 365, and I'm gonna get on to another stock. Oh wow, is this the right one? Oh, that's calls. Okay, I'm about to say I didn't pay that much. Yeah, so we're up 16% on the day. And I mean, hey, we have a volume of about 127,000 traded today on this position. This is why I picked it. and 62 open interest, 1,000. A better one, honestly, would be this 360. It has a higher open interest and volume, but the delta was a little bit lower for me, so I like to have a cute little delta. You know me. This delta is 37, so I'll have, you know, a little bit more return. What's that theta? I didn't even, oh, I know you lying. And so you see, this is the thing, I wasn't really paying attention to this. Look at how high this theta is. So this theta is about $100. So I'm basically paying $100 to keep this open. So I better see some movement going into market open tomorrow. And it did drop a little bit. It dropped $1 after. I need to see some more than that. I really wasn't paying attention to that. Yeah, I messed up with that. But this is live and I like to be completely transparent. But yeah, so whenever you're trading options and you're doing your swing trades and you're holding stuff overnight, you definitely want to not be goofy like me and just get into it without paying attention to that theta. So it is what it is. Oh, Houston is in the house. What's going on, Houston? T, actually, I have a question. So I was looking at some real estate, and also I think I put a little tweet about it, a little bit of real estate shade. But I was looking at some homes and houses in Dallas, you know, for a $1 to $3 million home, it's really not giving a lot. But when you look in Houston, $1 million gives you a lot more in Houston than it does in Dallas. So is the housing market better in Houston than Dallas? Miss K Art said the trend was my friend on the put side of SPY. Yeah, we've been trading this put down for about, we've been trading these puts for about 3 weeks now. So that's the one thing about starting at the daily chart. When you're doing the triple screen trading method, you're gonna get a lot longer trends because you're starting back a lot longer. We've been looking at that since August 17th. Please. Yep, T Burnett, yeah. I'm thinking I might move back to Houston. I went to school there, Texas Southern. Shouts out to TSU. Is it Tigers? I didn't go to any games, so. But yeah, so that's that for SPY. That theta is a killer. It sure is. Come on down to Houston. I know that's right. So yeah, that's pretty much it for SPY. I'm still going to be bearish going into the rest of the week. And like I said, once again, we still want to see how we react around this 371. But if we have some more bearish pressure going into the week and we cross below that 365, I'm definitely keeping my puts. And that's that on that. Now, another stock that was interesting this week is Meta. And, you know, Meta is always going to be a high volume stock. So today they traded around 30 million today. Whoa. That's not that bad. Okay, so on average over the past 3 months, their average trading volume is around 29 million. Today it was around 30. So that's not a huge increase. But just like SPY, Meta is in a long-term downtrend, and we can still use these similar fibs that we drew last week. Okay, so once again, you can see that we rejected this 137, so that's that 78% fib level. We rejected that, and it also looks like we did not, it was kind of trading a little slow here, but it looks like it rejected this 50% line too. So possible continuation of that cross below that. So for me going into, oh, hold on. Another really interesting thing that happened with Meta. Oh no, what happened to my story? Oh. Oh wow, I had a little story that I wanted to share. Oh man, hold on you guys, let me see if I can find it again. Okay, here we go. Now this was really interesting. Look at this. So Meta Platforms says that it will sell its Giphy platform after UK regulators ordered for it to do so. So I don't know if you guys are familiar, but I know that you guys are familiar if you watch any of my videos, but this is the site where I get all of those little funny clips. This is my favorite. Anything from Nene, they're done. Okay, but this is the site, so this is where you get little Giphies, but Meta currently owns this and they have to sell this because they're worried about them essentially becoming a monopoly and, you know, cutting access to these type of gifts from other platforms like Snapchat, Facebook, not really Facebook, they own Facebook, but Twitter and things like that. So they bought it in 2020 for about $400 million. So does it say how much they're willing to sell it for? Well, right now this is just a rumor, so I thought that that was interesting. Hopefully we still have access to that platform because that's where I get all my little funny stuff. So yeah, going into Meta, I'm still going to be bearish. Now as far as a particular entry, let's zoom in just a little bit more. It's right there too. So yeah, here's the key level we kind of rejected today, fell through there. So the next level for me going into the rest of the week for bearish movement is going to be 131. So we closed today at 133. We dropped a little bit during after hours. So just seeing a continuation of that trend below that 131, then I'm, you know, definitely continue being bearish on Meta. Jeff said, what is the recommended amount of volume to look for? Okay, so here's the thing. It's going to be different. So if you're actually looking for a stock that you want to trade options on, now it's not a rule, it's just a suggestion. So when you want to look for options on a particular stock, for that actual stock, you want to have a stock that has, I say, a daily volume of at least over 1 million. If you're day trading, even higher than that, I say 5 to 10. Okay, and the reason being is that's just a stock that has more liquidity, and it's going to have more option series available to you. So it'll usually have more options, and with more options you have more price points, and with more price points, you know, more variations, and you can get cheaper and you can get as high as you want it to be, higher lows you want it to be. Now as far as the volume on the actual option contract, for me, now this is just for me, and I used to say just straight 1,000 on option, or excuse me, on volume and open interest. I've kind of lowered it a little bit. I'll say maybe 500, you know. It really just depends. But the only thing that volume is really going to change as far as your option contract is really this bid and this ask spread. So you see here, oops. Girl, what is going on? Okay. So you see here we have a bid and our ask spread. This is about 15 cents. But if you had, I mean, also, you know, we have higher volume here. So let me think of one that doesn't have high volume. Let's look at Robinhood. They have some decent volume. That's not a good one. I can't really think of a great one off the top of my head, something that has low volume, but you would see a huge difference in between the bid and the ask spread. So as far as you getting into your position, and I don't know if you guys have ever tried doing limit orders, but you can try and put it in here for that bid and it's just going to sit there. Now they usually have a middle point where you can go, and if you set it there, then you have a higher probability of it getting filled, but you're usually going to want to go towards the ask. Once you put it towards the ask, it's an immediate fill, but it's more expensive. So that's usually how I do that for that. What's going on, B below? Oh, okay, I already said what's going on. So as far as the delta goes, it's basically just, so your Greeks, they're gonna give you more insight to how much value your option contract gains or loses per change in the actual stock that you're trading on. So let's go to Tesla. Let's see how much money let's see how much money I'm gonna lose tomorrow morning at market open. So that we'll use delta with that. Okay, so I have a Tesla 283 call. Hold on. See, I like to do the Wednesday chat because we can kind of have a little key. It's not as serious as Sunday Live, so I feel like I can do it on one. But yeah, this is March 17th, and this is 283. And make sure you guys click that thumbs up button too. Okay, so this is the one that I have. So my delta is, now this is cute though. My theta is decent, so I'm spending $9 versus the SPY where we're spending 100, but this also has a much further expiration date. So that's a clear example of how time decay will show you a difference. But here, my delta is 0.29, so basically 30 if you wanted to round that up. So the delta, like I said, that's gonna show you the value change in your actual option contract per change in the stock. So Tesla dropped $11, almost 12, during after hours. So let's get our calculator. So 12, and my delta is basically 30. So let's see. Whoa! Yeah, so that'll be down about $300 when I wake up tomorrow. Unless, you know, we have a rebound and Tesla goes up $20. But yeah, so that's how Delta works. That's a mess. And I do also have a video on the Greek, so make sure you check that out. It's gonna really break it down. KO says, I've noticed that you can get a much bigger house in Houston for a cheaper price. Yep. What's going on, Jay? But look, here's another interesting thing about Tesla that might explain some of the drop after earnings. So Tesla stock they're definitely going to have a Tesla sale soon. We know who, why, and when, so they're assuming that it's going to be Elon's silly sale, but they don't know how much. Now on Friday, and this is really why I have that credit spread open. Oops, my microphone dropped. This is why I have that credit spread open on Tesla. But they're going to have some more information coming out about that. So he still has about, what, $8 billion left, and they're assuming that he's going to sell a lot of Tesla shares to cover this stupid Twitter thing. So I'm in my feelings about it. I'm sure Twitter's happy. So that's interesting. We'll see what happens going into, I guess, the next couple of weeks, going into Twitter and Tesla, this little saga with Elon. But yeah, that's a pretty nasty drop after earnings that we had. And even with the earnings beat, they had logistical issues with deliveries, and battery supplies were shorter. So we'll see. And I feel like this was interesting. They produced 365,000 vehicles, but they only delivered 340. So what happened to that other 20,000? Where are those? So we'll see what happens with Tesla. I saw somebody asked about one. So this is from Bino. What's going on? This is HLIT, so H lit. Let's get lit. Oh, this is okay. Oh, there's another stock I wanted to look at too, speaking of Tesla. But let's see what's going on here. Okay, so this is Harmonic. And let's go to the daily chart. Oh my goodness, what is going on? It really fell back though. Let's see. So this has been in a continuous uptrend, even with the bear market that we've been in. What stock is this? Video delivery software products and services. They've still been doing good. Communications and networking. So they've been in a continuous uptrend. Now, one thing I want to see is, okay, we had this huge increase. The RSI is a little bit high there. So, I mean, of course, it wouldn't be terrible to assume a little pullback, but, you know, how could we anticipate a continuation? So I'm going to draw a little fib really quickly. We haven't drawn fibs tonight. Let's see. I mean, yeah, it's pretty much at the high. So going into the rest of the week, I want to see how it performs around, and this is going to be a 100% level, so that $15.04. Let's see if we continue to have strong volume going into the rest of the week, or is it going to, you know, kind of show some weakness here and have a little rebound. And then the next level that we would want to consider is this 1409, just to see how it holds up above that. Because let's say it rebounds off of this price, comes down, not terrible to anticipate over the next couple of days, and see, you know, okay, is it gonna use this as a support and continue and break out above that? So that would be, you can anticipate a pullback and a breakout here. So yeah, that's just something to keep in mind going into these type of trades. That helps. What's going on, Eric? I have talked about the implied volatility crush. I have a video actually called Trading During Earnings, so just check that out. But I can just give you an example. So, oh, hold on. Okay, let me start here. So if we were going to look at something normal, something that's average, looking at this implied volatility, average implied volatility is, to me, anything below 30, really under 50. You know, I'd like to give it a little leg room, but when you see implied volatility around 30, that's great. You know, this is pretty steady, and it's implied that it's going to move traditional, you know, outside of anything crazy going on in the market. Now let's look at Tesla, and then also we can look at, who else had earnings today? We can look at Tesla and Netflix and look at the difference in the implied volatility. It's not, oh, okay, this is further away. Let's go to October. God, dog. So this implied volatility is a lot higher. It's 147%. So when you go into options, if you were trading options on earnings, the best strategy, if you were going to do a long call or put, you know me, I like to do my credit spreads, but if you want to do a call or a put, it's better to get into that position before earnings when it has a lower implied volatility and hold on to it maybe until the day of earnings or after. Actually, I would say the day of earnings, and then you can, you know, sell it, because traditionally that implied volatility crush, normally Tesla does not have implied volatility around 170. It's usually something around maybe 50. So what's going to happen during the rest of the week is you'll see this implied volatility drop. And the thing with implied volatility crush is, and this is where the Vega comes in as far as the Greeks. I don't really have Vega on here. I don't look at it, but that's going to show you how much your option contract is going to change with your implied volatility change. So a really important Greek to look at during earnings is Vega. Because even if you're correct about the directional move of an option contract, when that implied volatility starts to drop, the option is still going to lose value based off of the Vega. And that is just kind of a rough explanation of implied volatility crush. Because this 140, this is not a normal. Let me see, let's look at Apple. See, around 40, it's real cute. It's not going to give you 70 and 100%. That's not normal. That's a lot. And so when I see implied volatility that's over 50, I would prefer to do a credit receiving position, because you know, higher implied volatility is linked to a higher premium. Higher premium means you're paying more to get in, which I don't like. I don't like all that. So that's just a little quick idea of implied volatility crush. Now, I want to look at just a couple more stocks, and then we can wrap it up for tonight. So honestly, going into the rest of the week, I'm probably gonna keep my eye on SPY. I haven't really seen a lot that I was interested in. I really had most of my interest in Tesla and Netflix during earnings, so now that that's over, I'm really probably just gonna keep it with the SPY. It was the anticipation on earnings making Tesla IV so high, yeah. And they still were a mess after hours. I'm sick about this $11. I'm sick. But it is what it is. Let's look at AMD. I know my friend sent me a text message today. She said she was waiting for the setup. So yeah, I don't know if we looked at AMD on live, but you can kind of see here with AMD. So since they had this huge drop on earlier this month, you can kind of see we've been range trading in between this 55 and this 59 range. So it's really kind of been keeping it cute in between there. Rejected this 59 twice within the past week, and so now we're moving back down towards our support around 55. So going into the rest of the week, if I wanted to really have a really cute bullish entry, you can anticipate, you know, maybe a little short-term move down to that 55. But honestly, if I really wanted a strong look, it would probably really be across below that 55. So you see we hit it a couple of times there last week, and seeing across below that would definitely be an amazing bullish indication. But on the opposite, you know, if you see that we passed this resistance point around 59, and then at that point we would have crossed these previous high candles, and those would be the highs of those days, but we would have crossed above that. We would have crossed above the super trend indicator, and then at the same time we would be on our way to crossing above our 200 period moving line, and we would have crossed above the 50 period moving average. So that's all bullish signals, but those are just things that I would wait for before I got into a position. And I know it's so much easier to say that when you're looking at it out of the market, and that's why honestly, unless you're day trading, you want to spend most of your time setting up your trades like we're doing right now after the market is closed. Because if you're sitting there and you're trying to think of, you know, your strategies and stuff, there's a lot of emotions that go into that. So you really want to spend a lot of time when the market is closed doing your research, you know, marking up your charts and stuff like that, so that when you go into the market next week, okay, well, once it crosses above that, hey, it is what it is. Or once it crosses below that, hey, it is what it is. So it's a lot less stress for me. Let's look at their implied volatility. Theirs was a little bit high too. Chip earnings. When do they have earnings? Does it say? It doesn't say here. Okay. Oh, okay, it does. Oh, okay, so their next earnings is on November the 1st, so they have a little bit of time. And theirs is probably going to be interesting with all this semiconductor stuff going on. It was looking kind of weak, so we'll see. What should the implied volatility be for scalping? So if you're scalping, I mean, if you're scalping, I still would say the same thing. I would probably say anything below 50. Anything below 50 would be a decent implied volatility, especially for day trading or swing trading, some stuff like that. How long have we been on here? Ooh, okay. Let's look at one more stock. One more stock that you guys want to look at for next week, and then I'm going to let you guys wrap it up because I know everybody's getting ready for the rest of the week, getting your clothes ready for tomorrow. You know, marking up your stocks, meal prep, all of that stuff. So somebody put one more stock that you want to talk about, and then we'll wrap it up for the night. He says we're not in a recession. But analysts, so yeah, analysts, they're saying, okay, we have a 69% that we're going to be in a recession within the next 12 months. He said we're not. He's just trying to get reelected. Okay. Now, Pepsi, hold on. Let's look at Pepsi really quickly. Because they put out this week, I mean, Pepsi, they have been in a continued uptrend. Let me take him off of here. Actually, I'm going to keep him up here. Where's Elon? Let me put him right here. This is the big boy right here. Where's Trucker Z? So they announced that Pepsi, they ordered about 100 of the Tesla semi-trucks back in 2017. 2017, they ordered a little 100, and they are just about to get their orders shipped out on December 1st of this year. So, I mean, if they're just getting it shipped out, I wonder how long it's going to take for it to actually get there. But it's projected to save about $200,000 a year in gas each, and it's also going to have a $40,000 tax write-off each. And this is just the first 100 fleet. So imagine just, I don't know if they have that copywritten or not, but just the possibilities of these semi trucks. I feel like it's going to be, you know, huge in the next few years. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens for Tesla. But Pepsi stock has been in a continued uptrend. Now, if we look at SPY, it's been dropping since December. But Pepsi has been in a continued uptrend. And this has kind of been one of the stocks, you know, that they've said is recession proof. You know, so you can see people, they're going to get their little drink on. It's a little bit overbought right now, though. So I wouldn't mind, you know, cute little pullback down to our moving average here, probably around 167 going into the week. But yeah, that's pretty interesting for them. Okay, so you said I did Netflix yesterday and Implied Volatility killed me. Okay, Miss Max said American Airlines. When did they already have their earnings? Or is it later on this week? I don't remember. So we can look at that, and then let's look at cold, and then I'm gonna let you guys go for the night. Let me take these off of here. I thought that was interesting. What is this? Okay, this is an ETF. What is it an ETF of? Oh, gas. Okay. It's kind of been, it hasn't been doing too much. It's a little thin right there. So let's move in a little bit closer. Closer. So for me, just kind of looking at, thank you, Nicole. So just kind of looking at where we are, and this isn't going into fundamentals because, you know, I saw something that they said there's something going on with gas. The gas prices have increased, and going into the winter months with everything that's going on overseas with Ukraine and Russia and all that other stuff, gas is probably going to be higher. Now, you can see here we've had a kind of a short rally since the beginning of September. So it's been in a continuous uptrend. It has really nice overbought, oversold pattern here that I can see. Now, because we're in a trend, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change it to the trend following Heikin-Ashi. This is just really good, easy way to kind of get an idea of the trend when it's getting weak, so we can anticipate a possible pullback or continuation. So let's click on that. You know, it still looks fairly strong to me, even though the RSI is a little bit high. So it's, I mean, not a little bit, it's at 73. I wouldn't mind seeing a cute little relief, a little pullback. We've seen it before. It's okay. People are going to take profits. I know I take mine. Smart people take profits. Nothing wrong with it. I wish I would have taken profits earlier today and I would have been in the green. But so I wouldn't mind seeing a cute pullback. I don't want to see it cross below our 50-period moving average, but that's something that I would want to see going into the rest of the week. And how long? 10-3. So it has maybe a day or so in between highs and lows, so it doesn't take too long. I wouldn't mind a cute little pullback though, with the RSI as high as it is. So going into the rest of the week, I would probably want to be bearish, but you do have to go with what the chart what the chart says. So for me, if I was gonna have a bearish entry, you have so many different signals. Now, what chart is this? This is on the 4-hour chart. So if you like, for me, it's really made my trading a lot less stressful to only trade on the 1 hour and the 4-hour charts. Even when I'm doing my swing trades and stuff like that, I try and stay away from that 5-minute. It's a mess. Stay away from that 5-minute unless you're day trading, I promise you. So I like to keep it maybe a little 30-minute, a little 1 hour, 4-hour, low stress. So looking at the 4-hour, obviously I like to see it cross below, above or below my EMA line. So cross below probably that 2150 where my 10-period moving average is. That's going to be my indication of bearishness. Okay. And you know, like I said, I wouldn't mind seeing a little pullback, but even these pullbacks aren't too deep like that. So it's probably, I really doubt that it will fall that much just going off of these patterns. It looks like 18, 17. So it has maybe a dollar or so in between these little swings here. So it could come probably down to this 20. And then, you know, kind of see what the volume is looking like. So if it, let's say theoretically, if it did fall down to 20, I would love to see that RSI have a complete relief and come back down here to that 20-30 range and, you know, continue upwards. So that would be, as far as bullish movement, that would be the most ideal. Seeing a pullback and then a continuation. But if it just continues being bullish going into tomorrow, my entry is going to be probably above this 20-23. So we closed at 2290. We're at 2268 in after hours. So that's something that I will want to see. Ron says, can I sell puts for Tesla weekly at 200 strike even if it's dropping now? We do check for IV into generation. I mean, if you sell a put, then that's a bullish move. So when you're selling implied volatility, it's kind of the opposite. When I'm selling implied volatility, when I'm selling options, I want a higher implied volatility. So you still want to look at it. It's just going to be a little different than just buying a call or a put. So when you're selling to open, you want implied volatility to be high, and you want that theta to be high as well, and lower delta for selling to open. Okay, let's look at the last one, and that's American Airlines. And I want to see, I thought they have an earnings this week. They may have already reported. Oop, their earnings is tomorrow. Now, overall, we have been in a strong downtrend. This is looking on the daily chart. We've been in a downtrend. Now, what have they done before during earnings? Let's just look at the past 3. In July, a little bit of a drop. In April, a little bit of a drop. In January, a little bit of a drop. So, traditionally, we've had a little bit of a drop around earnings for American. But one thing to just kind of keep in mind is after JetBlue had their positive earnings, United Airlines, they had a positive earnings, something to keep in mind. But I mean, that RSI, as high as it is, I wouldn't, it's very high. I would love to anticipate a really strong pullback tomorrow. I mean, that would be most ideal. But let's see. Let me just look at a UAL real quick, how they did. Because they had their earnings today. I mean, the anticipation though, just look at the anticipation. You can see a cute little move, but it doesn't stick. It doesn't stick. So I would just be careful. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna do something. So because we are doing earnings, I'm gonna kind of show you guys one of the tools that I like to use going into earnings, and a lot of people ask me about it. But I do use Tiblio. I still use Tiblio, and I use them mostly for credit spreads. But they've added so many different things outside of just their screener. So now they have their market flow, all of this, most active options, largest positions, highest delta, top premium. So if I was going to do credit spreads, I want the highest premium ones that I can get the most credit back. If I'm doing just a regular call or put, I want to look at the ones that have the highest delta, because that's going to be the most profit back on a single contract. So going into earnings, normally what I'll do is, I'll go to my earnings calendar, and they've changed it too. They added something else. Hold on. They changed it so much. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'll just go to earnings calendar. I'll type in the stock, and this is what you want to focus on, that market maker move. And so that's what I was looking at with Netflix. That's where I got that $30 move projected. So it's plus or minus whatever the market maker move is. So what stock were we looking at? American. Let's see what their market maker move is for tomorrow. Oof. So it's projected to be within a 70 cent range tomorrow. He said, who knows what Elon is getting on my nerves. Like, I love Tesla, but he is just a mess. Ugh. Him and Kanye. Keep them both. Anyways, but these are y'all geniuses. Anyways. So yeah, American Airlines is projected to be within a 69 cents range. So if you were going to do something with American, what is this? I would prefer to have a spread. I really would. I would prefer to have a credit spread, but just keep those limits in mind. It's been in an uptrend since about the 11th. The RSI is not too high. It's about 60. Yeah, I really, it's kind of hard to tell. So I'm trying not to guess. But if I was going to be bullish, obviously seeing a cross above, and we've had some resistance here for the past 2 days, this $14.30. So, $14.30 would be a good entry with a low RSI for a long position. But obviously you already know, opening up tomorrow, if we cross below this 1370, this 50 period moving average and the super trend, then, I wouldn't mind anticipating a cute pullback. Probably back to, I would say, either the 200 period moving average. Actually, no, let me not, hold on. There you go. See, this is a perfect way for you to kind of get your entry and exit points. I've been using the Fibonacci levels lately, but yeah, so bullish across above that 1430, but bearish. If we cross below that 13, this is a key level, that 1373, we would have also crossed below my EMA lines. So those are these closer to the actual stock chart, or excuse me, the candles, and then we would have crossed below the 50. So that would be my bearish entry. And let's look at the implied, oh, look at that implied volatility. So be careful. Be careful with that. Yep, Elon and Yay. Y'all can keep both of them. Keep them. I don't want them. Y'all can have them. Okay, you guys. So that's pretty much it for tonight. I know this was a pretty, it was an interesting live, but they're going to get better. I'm trying to be a little bit more interactive with the screens and stuff. So, you know, a little bit more preparation is in need, but we'll get there as long as the information is pure and helpful. All right. Hopefully Elon doesn't drop. It's probably going to drop, Carlene. You see what it did during after hours, child. It's a mess. But we'll work with it. All right, you guys. So that's going to be it for this live. So hopefully you guys trade well for the rest of the week. Okay, make sure you go in with a plan. Keep your stop losses and your limit orders in place. Keep your spirits high and make sure you're drinking your water. Taking deep breaths. I notice a lot of times when I'm trading, I don't know, it's weird. I notice like I'm not breathing or something like that. So if you get just really wrapped up into the charts, make sure that you're breathing, okay? And keep yourself well. So I'll see you guys next time. All right, have a good week. Bye.